Hello there, this is Cookies. I have turned 21 of EA Machaka, and we did a trade last turn. I think I traded away, maybe it was Glamour Gems, and I got a bunch of Death Gems from Muspelheim. So we received those. The Swimming Men have left our employment. We are spamming out ogres, anything to fill up our ranks with hard-hitting units that can potentially hurt rough fights. Femoria attacks Witches Cops. So let's go ahead and see that. This is also my cap circle. This big group of mercs backed by a few giants. It's just a little bit of PD. In Two Spruce Forest, Femoria falls behind with a small raiding party, killing a little bit of PD. It's just slingers. I don't think we need to see that. In Ironwood Forest, Machaka's coming in. This is our little raid against a fair amount of Lizard PD. And this is to cut one of the retreat routes for the Hinnom army. So we'll see how this does. First row of War Lions does not have a good time. The follow-up does a little bit better. We've got to be close to HP routing. Some friendly fire. I am shocked that we have not routed yet. Armies of Hinnom are routed. That must be why. Alright. This might not be too far off from what happened. Let's see. We lose 14 War Lions, but we don't take any Lion Warrior attrition. And we do get rid of the Lizard Warrior PD. So we successfully cut one of the retreat routes. In Golem Range, Femoria raids Berytos. This is a rather large army. Lots of elves in this one, along with Fomorian giants. And 2 Fomorian kings against just PD. In Kepria, Niflheim continuing to take their allotted provinces. This is so much more than what you need to kill 6 PD. But this is what they're sending, I guess. They've been taking about 1 province a turn, which has been great for us. It's let us collect a lot more income from these provinces than we otherwise would have. And then in Fogic, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, this is Berytos clearing out some PD on its way to help me with the Hinnom army. An Omen of Lasting Peace. I don't know where you're getting that from. Then we have a Scorching Desert. Alright, so Fomoria's in my cap circle. They've taken 2. Little do they know that my cap circle didn't do that much to begin with, but they have taken out the useful part of it. Alright. We are planning to counter-raid the swamps. We've got a small raiding party for that. And then, yeah, this army is going to do what it does. We're going to continue patrolling here. Now we've added some ogres to the mix. And this little raiding party is going to keep going into Hexwoods and see what it can do. Here is the leadership for this army. Notably, there's still no leadership that we can see in this army to help organize it. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do over here. It should still be an unorganized block, but it might be a blessed block now, which means this fight's going to be a lot harder for Berytos. And Berytos is taking pretty significant risk coming over to help with this, because now this army is strong enough to threaten his forts. So he's trying to rally some additional troops in his cap, and maybe this army would have time to come back and save Berkhamum. I'm not quite sure. In other news, his forts in the rear areas are starting to come online. And that's going to be really good. It's going to let him get some research done and recruit mages. And potentially try to carry us through this. In terms of diplomacy, and it's turn... We're a little ways past turn 20. What turn are we on? Turn 21. In terms of diplomacy, we can see Femoria just getting gigantic, and then there's everyone else. So it's getting easier and easier to diplo against this team because everyone else can see what's happening. Berytos has been laid low. They're now just a nation like any other. In fact, they're just as big as I am, and we're completely in the middle of the pack. We've negotiated away a bunch of land to Niflheim. So now it's about bringing Femoria under control. Hinnom is also a normal nation, so right now we're talking about a team with the resources of 3 nations, and everyone else has the resources of 2 nations. In terms of force, Femoria is in the lead. Income, Femoria has a gigantic lead, as they've taken all of Berytos' income. They have they haven't started site searching too much yet, but it's starting to just be so much land. But not much of a gem income lead. No blood eco. Zabalba started a little bit. Sarmatia is running away with the research graph. And in army size, we can see what happened to my army. And we can see what happened to Hinnom's army. And this represents most of the quality in my armies as well. So it's most of my sacreds. So this is helping galvanize the rest of the lobby. It's like, all right, well, how much bigger do you want Femoria to get? Do you guys want to be in a band down here and have Femoria up here? Or what do you want? So maybe in more aggressive lobbies, Niflheim doesn't take that peace deal, but I thought it was a reasonable peace deal. They get 8 free provinces. Maybe Sarmatia tries to join in Vulture, but I don't know, it's going to be hard for other teams to get the lion's share of these spoils, including the caps. Maybe Niflheim could have come in here and taken Berytos, and then I would have lost Machaka. But I'm not sure the other non-giant teams want to see four giant teams running away with the game, especially teams with late games like Femoria's. So the diplomacy I was getting a lot of traction with the Vanheim team and the Sarmatia team, trying to convince them that something needed to be done. And we're gonna, maybe if we can post a victory, maybe that would help galvanize some action, where maybe they won't have to expect to do all the work. So continuing to get my pittance of sacreds, where I can't even max out my holy point recruitment because my cap gets 107 resources by itself. That's our shitty troop scales coming into play here. Meanwhile, Berytos gets 278, significantly more. So I can get 4 sacreds a turn. I'm also getting a Lion King this turn. Over here, Hyena Clan Witch Doctor, and some Rhino Clan. Now the cap only, this guy, I'm getting this guy because these are nature leaders. And I've done a little bit of conjuration research, so I can sink gems into Pride of Lions and Herd of Elephants to just try and get a little bit more chaff that can deal damage to Hinnom, even if it dies in the process. And I think that's it for this one, for most of it. But next turn should be a really big fight. I don't think this Hinnom Hinnom army has any leadership to leave, Berytos is going to get to pick that fight. And because the Hinnom will be deployed in a big box, they can potentially do attack rear shenanigans. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll also see where this Fomorian army decides to go next. Are they going to try and take my palisades while I can't defend it? Although maybe Berytos could. Or are they going to try to take on my capital PD dump? We'll have to see, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.